RUJIRA drama and why I don't care about staking or VCs. So let's start at the beginning. What is all of this about? It's about ongoing talks that the staking rewards for RUJIRA, for the RUJIRA chain, will maybe not be distributed to just single-sided staked RUJI, like we know it from Kujira, for example, but instead may be distributed to some selected liquidity pools. Right now, I think Rune RUJI and RUJI USDC are like the favorites. Yeah, my first thing I need to say to that is that actually Rune RUJI and RUJI USDC don't sound like bad liquidity pools to me at all. And how is all of this gonna function? Like, nobody knows. Will you have to stake your LP tokens into an extra contract, or will be the rewards be distributed to the LPs anyways, like just the LP itself, not only to LPs that are staked? Will there be lockup periods? Probably not, as I hear, but maybe. Or will there be auto compounding? Nobody knows, right? But it doesn't really make a difference. Let's talk about why do they want this? Why even suggest this, that we do it with liquidity pools instead of just a single asset? There are some theories I can see in Telegram. One is that like institutions, if they want to enter the project, if they want to buy RUJI, then they will need high liquidity. First of all, for them to buy with lots of money, hopefully, but also they will only buy with lots of money if they can be sure that they can also exit a lot of money again. And kind of the same argument is being brought up by some community members, that the VCs need exit liquidity, which they don't want to provide themselves, so they will put it into the system so they can exit. I don't know why they would want it. I guess a lot of liquidity is good, especially if they are in talks with some institutions. Then they kind of need to make sure that we get good liquidity. And also, you have to think about this. If RUJIRA launches, a lot of the tokens, probably around 50%, will be locked in the merge contract. So they will not be on the market. Also, the other 50%, they are also not all on the market as well. They also have their different purposes. You can look at the tokenomics if you want to know more exact what the different purposes of the tokens are. But it's not at all providing liquidity. This is not a big part of the tokenomics yet. So we have to design them, and we have to talk about that. Liquidity pools getting the staking rewards, well, that's one solution for this liquidity problem, which is a lot easier than maybe building protocol-owned liquidity, which in my experience usually takes some time for it to be anything meaningful. I don't see a lot of people talking about other solutions. I just see them complain because they don't want the risk of the liquidity pool, right? You have impermanent loss, obviously, and people, they are scared of that. They don't want that. And people are paranoid of VCs dumping on them because that's kind of the standard in the industry, which I completely get. But let's talk about this valuation and are the VCs dumping. Why I don't care about VCs? Well, the way I understand it, the lowest valuation the VCs bought at was 80 million for the RUJIRA chain. And personally, even I bought below that. I was a bit lucky there, but even now at current valuations, at the time of recording, Kujira, if you multiply it by 2, it gets around 110 million. So right now the valuation of RUJIRA, you can say, is 110 million. If we would go from 110 to 80 million, if we would go down, that would mean that you lose about 27% of your capital, which in crypto is not a lot, I have to say. So everything below 27 would mean that also the VCs are not in the profit, right? So it's, let's say, unlikely they would sell at that point, especially because this is not some joke. This is a huge project. Rune has all-time high $20. Kujira had all-time high $5. They are now merging and, make something that's greater than the sum of the parts, right? For me, the VC dumping risk is minimal. Also, what you have to think about is the longer you stay in the merge contract, the lower your entry will be because you get more tokens. This is also going to be then interesting how many people are going to leave the merge contract because they can get a higher yield on the chain itself using DeFi protocols or getting the staking rewards. So we will have to see what is going to be the best strategy, but you can be certain that your entry price will be a little bit lower than it is now. And price discovery is going on right now. Don't forget that. Yeah, now about the last point, why I don't care about the staking, how it's gonna be done. Because me personally, I want to earn single-sided yield. I don't want to fuck with any impermanent loss calculations, blah, blah, blah. It's not my thing. I'm not good at that. So I will try to avoid it. My personal opinion is that because if the merge contract is done, all the DeFi protocols will be live, that there will be a lot of opportunities to earn single-sided yield on RUJI. Two strategies I can think of the top of my head right now. First of all, the unstake strategy, but for this, the staking for the rewards, like the RUJIRA staking, has to have a lockup period, which I believe it won't have. But maybe it will, then you can deposit your RUJI just into unstake and you will probably earn about the same as staking, because in the background unstake deploys the RUJI into the lending market on Ghost. The Ghost APRs usually tend to arbitrage very near the actual staking rewards. Why? Because you can just borrow the RUJIRA and stake it, and if you make a profit there, you can arbitrage that gap, right? Even if this doesn't work, right? If there will be no lockup period time because you're not securing anything, why would you have a lockup? Well, even then, there's still the Orca strategy that we all know and love. That's why Kujira became the thing that it is today, because it had the liquidation markets on Terra. It will also be the same principle. You will be depositing your RUJI into the lending protocol, where you will have this arbitrage yield, and then you will be able to buy on Orca bid on the liquidations, which also, if you look historically, even at Terra and at Kujira, there are some historical numbers that can give you a very nice APY. And that's it, I guess. Thank you guys for watching.